Yeah, that's not what we are. We're big 5th Ed nerds. We don't play any other tabletop RPGs ever.
I do.
No, never.
Aww.
And so today, instead, we're going to keep rolling on with our 5th Ed game of Reflex Save that we're recording for all the lovely listeners out there.
Rolling.
Yay, let's go to the hospital. Yay!
Last week, the 4 of you, after finishing the seance in the White Lady Inn, had some touching heart-to-heart moments, became members of the...
Tadpoles?
Of the Tadpoles, the All-Dale Paranormal Occult Leyline and Extraplanar Society, as Ronaldo gave you his card before leaving town. You also discovered the location of a hospital that has been recently taken up by new clerics, have taken residence, and decided that you'd head that way first before eventually stopping by the library and returning your books like giant nerds.
Guilty.
On the way, you did hear some news that people are noticing your handiwork out by the Easthaven docks, and they're on the lookout for the potential murderers.
Don't call it our work. Nobody knows who the Easthaven desecrator or desecrators are.
I know.
The god knows, yeah, exactly. He is omniscient, after all.
You made your way across town and eventually ended up at Easthaven General, where we left off. So this building, as I said, is on the south side of town. It's where the houses start to thin out. There is a tall wrought iron black gate that you can see through, but it is maybe 12 feet high and flanked by sort of a very, very well-kept stone masonry. You can see the main house or hospital is just up a little bit of a hill, obviously all snow-covered, but it looks like it's some sort of red brick construction that is at least 3 floors and seems to stretch out 2 large wings on either side.
Signs of life? Gates open?
The gate is currently closed, but you do see signs of movement in the distance. Can't quite make it out from here. It looks like you have to get through the gates, and there's a long path that you can see through the snow cover that leads then to the front.
God, it's been a long time since I went to the hospital.
And we know it is a working hospital, yeah?
Well, yeah, so it was probably really briefly that Bardaban had sort of mentioned it, that a new order or a new set of clerics had taken over it. But as far as you know, this should be a working hospital.
Is the gate manned?
Doesn't appear to be.
Are we just walking in?
Yeah, I think it's a hospital. Let's go.
Well, what's our angle? So we want to find out about these clerics. Why?
Harrin
how do
Saulk.
we? Oh yeah, and oh yes, good idea. Yes.
So we can inquire about him. We can also go under the guise of wanting to contribute our resources to their efforts. And perhaps in doing so, they can reveal what their efforts actually are.
Good idea. Well, that sounds like a plan. Let's get on in there.
Yeah. Easthaven General.
So you approach the main gate, and you try it. It doesn't push in. Roll a perception check.
14.
19.
22.
Oh, fuck.
I said perception check.
Oh,
23.
Oh my god. We are a very perceptive bunch.
that was the full Vince McMahon there.
It's falling backwards. So the gates do appear to be locked, but you don't see like a little keyhole or anything like that. You do see, flanked on either side, something that looks to be more recent than the construction around it. Although the construction it looks well kept, it doesn't look new. It looks like it's been here for some time. But what you do see, hanging so you've got either side there is the brick part of the fence. And there's a wrought iron gate in the middle. And either side on the outside and inside, so there's one inside, one outside. You see a hanging ornament made of gold. And it appears to be shaped like a disembodied chest.
Wait.
Embodied chest, like
Yeah,
a pair of boobs.
Like torso and six-pack.
Sort of
yeah.
breasts.
Yeah.
A bust.
There's no limbs, no extremities. But it's like someone cast like someone down to the six-pack and then forged that in gold.
Perhaps they tread the path of the swole.
I can relate.
Are all the clerics ripped? Just as like bodybuilders going around
I
in the road?
would be disappointed if they're not. Alright, so how do we get in? The gate's locked. There's nobody here.
You see Wodun just go over and try and like pull the chains apart, thinking that maybe he'll be able to like just tear the chains apart with his bare hands, but obviously he cannot.
No, yeah, you have about as much as luck as I would in real life trying to do that.
Excuse me, doctor. I am a doctor.
Is there like a bell around that I can ring?
The only thing you see is the ornamental chest hanging there in gold.
I knock on the breasts.
Do you touch it?
Yes.
As soon as you touch the breasts, as soon as you touch the torso, click, and the gates swing open.
Ah, yes.
You're good.
Good thinking.
You head on inside, and as you do, the gates start closing behind you.
Oh, nearly got me. Anyway, we head down the path to the hospital.
Yes, let's head.
And you make your way to the front door, which is a big, looks like to be some kind of maybe oak door. Looks very solid.
Beautiful.
You do notice that the windows have like a thin set of bars on them, like those external bars, you know, that come out from the woodwork, like the brickwork in front of the windows and down and then in.
Security bars.
Yeah, security bars. That's what they look like more than anything else. They don't look like prison bars, like they're not that kind of construction.
Any screaming or anything?
From what you've heard here, it seems pretty quiet. But you did catch movement in some of the windows and things like that. So you kind of assume people are in. Even actually, as you approach, there's 2 large chimneys that jut out the top of the house, and you can see smoke rising from it. So someone you'd think is in.
I confidently push the door open.
The door swings open, and you find yourself in this long kind of hallway. Obviously, that leads. There looks like there's turns that leads off to each wing of this place, and there's also a grand staircase that leads you into sort of an upstairs area as well, which looks like it has similarly arranged areas that you can then turn off. To your left, you can see what looks like a waiting area. There's a couple of comfortable cushioned chairs and a long bench. And then to your right, you can see a reception area. So it looks like someone's sitting behind there. It looks like there's a woman sitting behind there. She's looking down at the paperwork and she's writing.
Okay.
We'll approach the desk.
Yeah, I'll come with you.
Excuse me.
Oh, hello.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, I'm good, thank you very much.
That's great.
Are you administering someone?
No, we've come for a visit to cheer up a good friend of ours.
Oh, that's fantastic. Who are you visiting?
Goes by Saulk. Harrin Saulk.
Harrin Saulk, okay. And she pulls out...
He's expecting us.
She pulls out a book and she opens it and she starts flicking through pages. Oh, yes. Yes. Psych ward. He's expecting you, you said?
Yes. Crazy bastard.
Hasn't said anything...
Oh, shouldn't say that, sorry.
Says here he hasn't said anything for days to anyone.
With his words, no, but he has broad mental abilities.
He said word a long time ago. It's taken us some time to reach here.
Okay.
We've come from the south, you see.
Oh, I see. Well, look, I'll get you guys all to sign in on the guest register, and I will send word for the attending cleric to come and see you. If you will sign the paperwork and wait in the waiting area for me, he'll be along shortly.
Thank you. Can I just do an inside check to make sure that is what she's doing?
Sure. You sure can. I won't stop you.
I might eye off that lady as well. Is that okay?
I don't know what check that is, but sure.
No, insight. I'm just
Okay.
like...
You said eye off, and I'm like, I don't know what check that is.
Appraisal.
14. I just want to kind of make sure she's not like, oh yeah, I'll get them for you. Security button, security button.
Yeah. I'm the same. 19.
Seems pretty bright, bubbly. Doesn't seem to be like trying to waste your time or anything. You know, she just wants you to sign the guest book. And
Cool.
If I may, what's your name?
my name is Nurse Elizabeth, but you can call me Liz.
Liz. I'm Horacio, and this is Wodun. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Welcome to Easthaven General.
I wanted to add, it's taken us a while to get here. We've come a long way. I, myself, actually, back in Baldur's Gate, was a practicing physician.
Oh, really?
And I'd like to perhaps offer my services, both in the physical and the spiritual healing. I actually specialize in both.
Oh, wonderful. So Dr. Horatio, is it? Dr.
Just call me Horacio.
Oh,
Please.
I know some are sticklers for that kind of thing.
Yes, but it is Doctor.
Well,
I just want you to know
Dr.
that.
Horatio?
Just Horatio is fine.
Oh, okay. I'm getting very
But I am a
confused now.
doctor.
But I am a doctor.
I'm getting very confused now. What do you, so I'll have to write you down as a visiting physician. You said you're a cleric, yes?
Correct.
What deity?
A cleric of Kellenvor.
Oh, so you wish to also visit the mortuary?
Very much so. Yes, but I specialise in end-of-life care, palliative care, if you will.
Oh, okay. We have just a couple of patients that are down on the right wing. They'd love to see you. End of life care. They're getting on in years, and some of our doctors here are just a little bit younger. They don't pay as much attention as they should. I'm sure they will love to see you, but maybe a little bit later.
That's fine. One topic of study that really piqued my interest, however, is preserving life and retaining life that should not be lost so cheaply.
Oh.
Do you have any patients who perhaps are in need of care that you cannot or do not have the resources to provide?
We don't have anyone in emergency at the moment. I would have to ask the head cleric. Actually, he'll be along to see you shortly. He's the attendant cleric for Harrin.
Okay, very very good. What might his name be? Sorry.
Oh, his name is Cleric Sean.
Sean.
Not Dr. Sean?
No, he's not a doctor. He's a cleric.
Ah.
Very well. Thank you, Liz. Pleasure to meet you.
It's wonderful to meet you too.
If we're doing that, I suppose you'd better put me down as Dr. Crowhurst as well.
Oh, doctor!
Yes.
What do you specialise in?
Mental health and physiotherapy.
Oh, I see. We do have a couple of patients in the psych ward. Harrin is one of them, actually.
Yes. Yep.
Well, I assume you want to see Harrin as soon as possible.
Of course, yes.
Yes, Dr. Wodun's actually, he specialises in non-verbal patients.
Well, that's fantastic. That's the best news I've heard all day. Well, please, Doctor, I assume you two are doctors as well.
Nurse?
No?
Nurse?
Sure.
What should I put down? Nurse?
Polka dot.
Nurse Polka Dot, okay. Wow, what a very unusual name.
So absent
You can
about
just
it,
call her
polka dot.
I will call you Dot. That is such a good idea.
Nurse Dot.
Sure.
Nurse Dot.
You're Dot now.
Oh, we have to trade some stories later, you and me, for sure.
I don't talk very much.
Oh.
I'm a mortuary, you see.
You
Oh.
are a mortuary.
You are a mortuary.
Wait, metaphorically
A
speaking.
walking mortuary.
I am dead inside.
Honey, aren't we all? And, you've all bought your child today?
No,
Yes.
this
I'm not
More of a pet,
not a
really.
child.
Oh.
I'm just...
Oh, my mistake.
He's a paediatric specialist.
Oh my god! We have a couple here that might want to see him as well. Oh, I'm so excited. Well, look, I'll go
It
get...
makes the kids laugh,
I'll go get Cleric Sean for you immediately. So once you sign the guest book and you head over to the waiting area, you see the nurse get up and she leaves for a bit. So after waiting for about 10 minutes or so, walking down from the left ward on the ground floor, a figure turns the corner and looks strangely familiar. Hello, everybody.
Motherfucker.
Son of a bitch.
I see you've come to see Harrin Saulk. Please, you may call me Cleric Sheen. Some people say it's Sean. They are wrong.
Oh, so it's pronounced literally.
Sheen.
Sheen. Oh,
Yes.
It's like both put together. S-H-E-A-N. I love it, Sheen.
Oh, fantastic. How are you all today?
Was good.
I could be better.
I'm alright.
Wait, so tell me, you're a former animal trader, and now you're a cleric, a head cleric in a hospital?
What? Oh, you must mean my brother, Skeen. Over in Bryn Shander. You've met him before.
We had some dealings with him, yes.
Fantastic. Well, it's always good to see what could have been old friends. Please, you're here to see Harrin. You're friends of his.
Harrin?
Harrin Saulk.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we are.
We are indeed.
Please.
We're practicing physicians and holy people ourselves.
Oh, I see. Oh, I am a holy man myself. And he, pulls out this, long golden chain that has that symbol of the torso in front of him. Can't you see? Of the new deity Ubok, the Massive.
I just, sorry, Sheen, I just need a moment to process.
All right, I'm done. Can I quit the podcast?
His domain over athletics and vitality.
All right, we're out. We're leaving.
This was a really fun podcast to be
This
in.
isn't worth it anymore.
His lord of perpetual fortitude.
Amazing.
Stop.
Ah, yes, they say that he fell while trying to deliver iron to Prince Shanda.
I was right.
He was deified. And now the word has spread quickly of the new up-and-coming deity.
Well, he's very much worthy of worship, I can guarantee you. We actually, gave tribute at his corpse. Did you know that?
That must mean you're prophet of Ubok. This is amazing. Tell me, what did his glorious body look like?
It was massive.
It was separated from his legs.
And
It was
powerful.
exactly how you pictured it in this bust.
Yes, that's why we have this symbol to remind us that we must all keep in good health at all times.
In bust we must.
In us we must, indeed. I must end all my prayers with that now. You truly are prophet of Ubok.
Fuck you, Andrew.
I must, we must. You're going to...
Could talk to Harrin now.
Now, please, we have a very important patient
Of course.
waiting for us.
Of course. Well, please, this way. And he starts walking down the left wing. You see, Harrin has been here for at least a week. Actually, he was here in the hospital, I think, before we came. He's very non-responsive. We've been treating him every day, trying to get him to speak, say anything, but there's been nothing. I really do hope that you're experts in speech therapy and psychology.
We are.
Oh, that is
Confirmed.
fantastic to hear.
He's the best.
I'm sorry, what was your name, Dr.
Cromhurst.
Cromhurst? I haven't heard of you before. Are you new to the 10 Towns?
No, I'm from far away.
Oh, far away, so you're
Yes.
visiting.
Yes, I've come all this way to see Harrin Saulk, and if you don't mind, sir,
Yes.
please,
Yes,
lead the way.
I am. We are walking as we speak.
Walk faster.
You'll have to forgive him, head cleric. He's
I have a busy schedule. I have
he's
many
a very
clients.
busy man.
I'm sure.
Nurse Dot, what's my 12 o'clock?
It's, I lost...
Push my 12 o'clock.
Okay. I push it to 2.
Thank you, Nurse Dot.
I like how you describe it. I push it to 2.
Oh, you seem to be a very busy individual.
The private practice.
I see. What's the name of your practice, if you don't mind me? Do you seem to all be part of the same practice?
Cromhurt.
Cromhurt?
Yes.
Oh, very clever.
I fixed the hurt.
I see.
I'm actually from a different... I'm actually in a cosmetic surgery called Practice Makes Perfect.
Oh,
Hey.
hey, that's a good one as well.
Do they chrome when they hurt?
Yep. They sure do.
He's into anesthetics
I
and
was just thinking
painkillers.
about what you said the other
Chroming
week.
for hurt.
That's how I got through medical school. Was confidence. Confidence. Should call it confidence practice or something. Confidence medicine. Oh shit.
Well, you see, we don't allow running in the halls because it scares some of the psych patients. But we're just about there now. Would you wish for me to come with you, or would you prefer to be alone with the patient?
I think we'd prefer to be alone, thank you.
Prefer to be alone.
Sheen?
Sheen, yes.
Isn't that spelled Sean?
Yes, that's wrong.
Alright.
Wait, is it S-E-A-N or
Yes,
S-H-E-A-N?
No, S-E-A-N.
Okay.
Scene?
Yeah, Sheen, yes.
Sheen, oh, I understand.
Scene.
Sheen, yes. There are those that say Sean, and I do not believe they are correct. I've had this name my entire life.
name.
It's my name,
I don't believe
and
they're correct.
I can say it the way I feel. I mean, it looks strange when you see Sheen Bean. You don't go Sean Bean. That would be strange.
Let's not push it further than 2.
4 o'clock it is.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm going to need more time.
Absolutely.
We are here, and I wish you good luck. Go with his lord in perpetual fortitude, and in bust we must.
And boss we must.
we must.
Takes out a key, unlocks the door, and then gestures to it. I'll wait out here for you.
Doctor?
Thank you. I proceed.
You open the door. Do all of you just file in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You come into a small, pretty bare bones room. On one side of it, there is a single bed that looks neatly made. You can see that there is a sink, what is probably a stored latrine area that's closed off in a way. And you can see a chair in front of you looking out of the barred windows, and there is someone that's sitting in it. They look to be looking relatively close out.
They're just sitting?
Yep.
I'll walk over and just walk past the chair and lean against the wall and look out the window as well.
You can see from this angle the front gate that you guys walked in on. There is a small road that leads up to the hospital, but doesn't lead much further than that, so traffic here is pretty light. The man that sits beside you just looks to be staring completely out. He doesn't say anything. He's dressed all in white, like in white robes. He has long, black, matted hair. Looks to be, like, well kept enough for, like, you know, someone's obviously been sort of keeping it a little bit. But it's definitely grown probably longer than what it usually... It looks like it's grown longer than what it usually would. And there's a rough beard that you can see this man sort of on this man's face.
I'll pull out a clipboard and turn to Wodun. Doctor, this is a Harrin Saulk. He went to Mishan. He was from a caravan, but he was abandoned and left in the cold, but was unaffected. Left without food. He was found on the side of the Ten Trail and was taken here to Easthaven, but he never spoke. And that is the end of my note flex. Back to you.
You missed the part where he disappeared for 7 days away from the caravan and reappeared ahead of them.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Adams. I'll add that in. Jeez.
Dr. Adams!
Wodun still, like, he didn't make any visible signs that he was listening to the notes there, but he's still staring out the window with his arm against it. Beautiful out there, absolutely beautiful, but brutal. I'll turn around and see if he had any reaction to me.
He doesn't appear to have noticed you there. You see him still staring out, and he, like, slowly blinks. That's the only indication you got that maybe he heard you. But if you look at him, like, his eyes have that sort of 1,000-yard stare type thing. Like he's in a bit of shock.
Wonder what it would be like to spend extended periods out there alone in the cold. Exhilarating. Terrifying. No reaction?
I'd like you to roll either, in this case, probably a persuasion check. I think would make sense here.
Oh, excellent. 13.
13. No, he's... Again, the only sort of... You think that he might be hearing you. Like, there's small movements in his face, almost like the muscles are tensing up around his mouth and eyes, but, like, very almost imperceptible changes.
Yes, absolutely, Dr. Cromhurst. I mean, for someone to survive out here for 7 days with no protection and food is quite remarkable.
So he is reacting, just not, like, overtly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does it look sort of pained, or is he just sort of... Like, does he look like he's trying to move more or do more?
Hard to tell. Maybe a medicine check, possibly.
Yeah, does he look malnourished?
Roll a medicine check.
While they do that,
Whoa,
I'll
Good catch.
silently transform into a cat and just sit on his lap to purr.
Okay. The
It's like
healing of purring.
a therapy cat.
All right. So as Horacio goes to do a bit of an inspection of his facial features and just check to make sure he's not malnourished, a small cat, what colour cat?
Oh, black and white.
Black and white cat jumps up onto his lap and sits on it and starts purring.
It's in hopes of maybe giving like a advantage on a medicine check. It's
Okay.
like a therapy count.
All right. So that's an aid check. So roll the medicine check with advantage.
Oh, that was clutch, Jen. I rolled a 2 on the die. That's better. 19.
Hell yeah.
He definitely doesn't look malnourished. You would have to guess with a patient like this, one of the nurses would have to be feeding him. It would probably be difficult, but if he's moving even a little bit, it wouldn't be impossible to at least get like mushed food down. He wouldn't be on any solids, you'd think. It looks like he looks like he's always well enough kept. He doesn't look like he's in pain. You don't get the indication that like those features are hardening sharply as if he's like feeling pain. It's almost as if like whatever he's seeing in his own mind is like just causing him to react, and maybe he can hear you, and that's what he's slightly reacting to. But it's like someone that's just not all there.
Seems like he's trapped in his own mind a bit.
Yeah, possibly.
Any signs of frostbite?
You look none, absolutely none with that check.
Physically, he seems fine. He's just, he's not with it. He's in his own world at the moment.
Well, the note we got from Carnelian did say that he didn't have any physical afflictions. So, Carnelian is going to, like, try to, like, stand... Is there, like, a windowsill?
There's a little bit of space. There's not much in this room.
Yeah.
But there is a sill, like you can seal over it. It's low enough for you to see out, but it is probably about like top chest height for you.
Okay, so if Carnelian were to go like stand on a chair, would he like turn to look at me? Look at Carnelian?
Is that what you do?
Yes.
You go and drag, I'm going to say, another chair that was in the room, and maybe what they use for like sort of therapy sessions. Yeah. And you stand up on this chair and look at him. Really look at him, and you see his face. Like he just doesn't change at first. He's still staring out, but maybe if you like sort of make your presence known, you see the ever so slightest bend, as if like just in his eyes you can see just change ever slightly, and it looks like it might be focusing on you. Is there something you'd like to do?
Yeah, Carnelian is going to pull out his violin, and in an attempt to just create like he's going to start playing like something like soft and gentle, like try to like something soothing, but then once he has the man's attention, he's going to try to recreate from memory where he was held.
Okay.
Using a silent image spell to create like a picture.
Okay. 2 things I'd like you to do. 1, do a perform check.
That is a 23.
23. What you see, like as you're starting to perform, his like eyes are just focused a little bit on you, but as you start to play, his head turns ever so slightly, so he's definitely looking at you. As the song continues and you get to like, are you actually singing words, or is it just...
No, he won't be singing,
melody?
It's just melody.
So you just see sort of his mouth start to move, like very, very slowly at first, and his little outtakes of breath coming, until it almost looks like he's saying stuff, but no words are coming out. Then you do the silent image, and you have a choice. I'd like you to do either an intimidation check or a deception check. There are different DCs.
Was the second perception?
Deception.
Deception.
And when you say the place that he was held, do you mean Carnelian or?
Yes, Carnelian.
Yeah. So Carnelian had that.
Do we know any of this? Or?
You guys.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
This was in Goodmead when he was like blacked out.
Yeah. So we'll be watching this pretty intently.
Make a deception check. Or an intimidation. You choose. Let me know which one before you roll, and you will be rolling either check with advantage.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
Deception.
Deception?
Yeah, deception. That is a 19.
19. So, you show this image, and I'm assuming it's from the outside or from the inside? So as if he's inside the thing, or if he's like...
It's how Carnelian would have seen it, so it would be as if he is inside it.
So, what you guys, the rest of you see, is this silent image starts coming up, and the room that was all white before now has this image of what looks to be like a metal tube with glass like in front of it in this sort of big, long oval shape. And you can see Harrin looking out from this like image that sort of like fades as it gets towards the back, like into this sort of black kind of like shadow where you wouldn't be able to perceive it necessarily. And around where you guys are, you can see like it's almost like this 3D effect where you feel like you're in a bigger space than you actually are.
So the image is like a 15-foot cube, so it can create...
Yeah, it's all good. I'm taking a bit of artistic liberty with this. So when you turn around to look at the window, you're no longer seeing out into to the road in front of the hospital. You're seeing this line of other pods similar, but looking out in the distance as if it's maybe 20 feet away, 15, 20 feet away. And they're sort of in a semicircle, and you can see a table in the middle of all of that. And you turn and you look at Harrin, and then he stands up. And he looks right at Carnelian. I know you! You were there! I'm sure of it. Do you not hear it? Do you not see the beacon in the darkness? The light in the sky? Looking down, shining like a jewel, but it took me away! Long tubes wrapping around me. It took me into the sky. I saw you. We were trapped. Prisoners of mind and flesh. But I remember they did things to us. They put me to sleep. I think I could still hear them though, talking in my head, whispering things I did not understand. I woke up in the snow on the road. The road. I don't remember. And he collapses back down into the seat, and you see he's like, mouth is moving. He's awake, but he's almost as if he's collapsed from exhaustion. And Carnelian, as he starts recounting this, you get a sharp pain in your head that starts like a migraine and starts building from the front of your head. And then it's almost like a loud sound starts screeching within your mind. The image drops. You can't call any concentration for it. But it doesn't matter. He has said what his probably piece is. And you start getting flashes and images in your mind. You start seeing like this picture of the night sky, and you standing there on like looking out into a long field that has silhouetted trees along it, but it's stretched almost unnaturally, like you're seeing way further than you should be able to see in the horizon. And you're looking up and you see all of these stars, no moon, but all of these stars that are pockmarked, thousands and thousands upon stars. And then you see, slowly at first, one by one, they start winking out. And all these stars, almost as if something's starting to cover the sky, goes out, and you're seeing, eventually you're left with just a pitch black sky at night. But you can still see, the snow in front of you as if it's reflecting some kind of light, but there's nothing there. It's like void. And then from one end of your vision, you can see something. It's very, very faint at first, but it's like a shooting star going very slowly across the edge of your perception. And you move your head slowly and it starts streaking across the sky, leaving a long fiery trail behind it. And you can see it, and it starts filling out your entire vision, and then you can see it arcing towards the ground as it eventually crashes with a loud sound and huge fiery explosion. You can just hear this crunching sound in the distance, and you can see just this trail from the left to the right of where it was. Then you snap from that into a number of other jumbled images, long sort of like as if it's some sort of squidding tentacles, some sort of strange purple metal, flashes of green glass, and people still sitting in some sort of suspended liquid. You then start hearing something talking in your head in languages that you don't understand. It seems It seems like very much like someone's talking from their throat. You know, there's hardly any sort of upper range to it. It's almost all bass. And it's just this message that goes over. And it's just this long string of words. And you're just listening to it. And all of this is happening when you've got this massive pain in your head. When you realize after a while, the message is repeating. It's saying something, ending, and then starting again. And it's the exact same words. And you're listening and listening for what feels like forever. So eventually you could conceivably recreate what's being said, like write it down in
Yeah,
letters.
that's what I was thinking. Is like grab
quill,
quill, grab parchment.
You're listening to it for so long. You don't have the parchment on you, but it's like almost burned into your mind. And when you then finally open your eyes again, you can see that you are on your back, probably on just off the chair, like you've fallen back off the chair, and you're just staring at the ceiling of the hospital room that you're in. For the rest of you, all you saw the rest of this like silent image that was there, and you're almost all distracted about it. You didn't quite see Carnelian fall backwards off the chair, and the image disappeared, and you turned. Harrin is collapsed on his chair. Carnelian is lying on his back, and before you even have a chance to go over and say something, he wakes up.
Just instantly go for his bag, get paper.
All right?
Carnelian, what was that?
I don't know, but
What do you...
I remember. Maybe I remembered something. All right. What did it say? Can he is it like just sounding out syllables, or
Yes, yeah.
It's still not a language that he understands.
It's not a language you understand, but so I will let you. Do you have parchment and the quill?
He does.
You can write down what you heard, like pretty clearly, at least in how it would sound phonetically.
Yeah.
And you also feel like some of them, so you're getting some memories, some things that were like locked away, possibly. You start remembering things. You remember that you were out somewhere away from your home. Like, you remember being out in the woods alone. And you remember a bright light in the sky and then being wrapped up in these kind of long tubes that wrapped you all up and then pulled you in. The next time you awoke, you remember being in the tube with the glass. You remember lying on a table with shadowy things like touching you, and it looks like they were they had these tools and doing measurements and things like that. And then you remember, like in the middle of that, when you were being put back into the pod, like you were just barely conscious. You remember the sound of a loud explosion, and you remember feeling the weight as if something was like you were in something that was crashing down. And you think very clearly, like thinking about the sky that you saw and remembering waking up and like walking for some time where you were eventually found by some trappers. You think you could get back to where that was. You think you remember where that happened.
What are you writing there, Carnelian?
Sounds, syllables. I don't know. I don't understand the language.
Did you have some kind of vision?
Can you read it out?
Carnelian will sound out what the words are, but
What languages does everyone have?
Common, Celestial.
Yeah, same. And Dwarvish.
Common, Druidic, and Elvish.
So you do a pretty good approximation of the thing that you heard and recreating it. None of you recognize the language.
I wonder. But that image that you conjured, are they holding cells? Maybe we should talk about this later.
no.
Is Harrin Saulk also awake?
He's awake, but he's just sitting there now. And he's like, not like he was before where he was looking out, but he looks slumped over and he looks exhausted. He's breathing heavily.
Can you make sure he's laying down properly?
Yeah. How would you like me to assess him? What are we looking for?
You're the doctor. I mean,
You're the doctor!
Physically, he's well, and mentally, he appears to be present.
yeah, but he freaked out and fell over. Make sure he's not going to choke in his sleep.
Sure. I'll check him again. Is he conscious?
Yeah, he looks like he's conscious. He's breathing heavily. He looks more responsive than when you first came in.
Harrin, are you with us?
He's moving his mouth. He doesn't say anything, but you can see his eyes now darting from side to side.
Yeah, just give me a nod. It's fine. Just give me a nod if you're here.
You see a very slight, almost imperceptible nod.
Okay. That's fine. That's good. You seem to have awoken him somehow, Carnelian, with that image.
Maybe the library will have something.
Hello in there. Is everything okay? I heard shouting.
Yeah, he said something.
Oh, that's good news. Do you want me to come in? Is everything okay?
Is everything okay?
Everything's fine, Sheen. We're good, but thank you.
Oh, fantastic.
You got 4 of the best in here. Don't worry about it.
If you made him talk, then you were definitely the best physicians I've ever heard of.
Yes. You can count on that.
Oh, wonderful. He starts, fading away. I'm going to get my notes.
Do we have a map? Personally,
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Someone give me the map.
It's open in the
On
thing
that
here.
note, if you guys want to go to roll 20, I've done some work.
Oh, my
I've done some work.
I've done some work since you last saw this map. As you can see on roll 20, I know you guys have the physical map here somewhere, but you should now be able to see all the 10 towns.
Yeah.
Yes.
You should additionally be able to see a marking I've put on your map from the other map that you found in Easthaven.
Oh, the Sunbright Fortress.
Sunlight Fortress. That is the location marked on another map.
I see it.
The spine of the world.
Yep, exactly. And if you'll draw your attention near that area, so you want to mark on the map where you remember, roughly where you remember?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, Carnelian's McMemory. Oh, wait.
McMemory. It's supersized.
Memory. McMemory.
Maybe I'll put that on top. There we go.
Carnelian's memories.
That's a different adventure. So,
Adventure for 2 players.
that's roughly the area you remember waking up and walking away from until you were found by trappers. And for the listening audience, where it is south of Easthaven, in the mountains called the Spine of the World, not far from the Ten Trails, which leads across down into the rest of Fey Run.
Which is where Harrin was picked up.
Correct. Yeah. But it's not a straight shot. There's no roads that way. The best you could do is head to Brinchanda, then head south on the Ten Trails and break away.
We could follow one of the rivers.
You could also follow some of the rivers that might lead you to that area too. And the Sunblight Fortress is also not far from that location, but around a couple other ranges.
Do we know any of this, or is this just you at the moment?
Carnelian will be marking the spot
Okay.
on the map.
And you do have the mark. I put the mark on there as if you guys have marked out
Okay.
the fortress, because you did see that map.
Here. Work up here.
Are we going to have this discussion here, or should we
We should go to the
focus
library.
on Saulk for now? Or?
He'll be fine.
Okay.
Thanks, Saulk. Bye.
Because we came here for you. Did you get everything you wanted from this encounter?
I think so. I got everything I expected. More than I expected, really. He didn't, know anything new, but I guess I remembered it.
Well, that's as good as new, I suppose, if you've newly remembered it.
So, are you saying we should go back there? Or
Well, I want to.
you want to?
I think we should.
Do you think you'll find these tubes that you conjured a minute ago?
Not there. Probably not. Might find some clues, though. It's better a lead than I had.
And you don't know where the tubes were or what that was?
No. Underground. Maybe above ground? Could see the sky, but that was a different memory. So.
Well,
There does seem to be some still missing pieces from that memory, but more of it is coming back to you. You also have this very, very light headache still throbbing in your head, and every so often, you think you hear those words over again on the edge of your consciousness. Not enough to cause you to be too distracted about it, but it's just you catch the whispering of it every so often.
Maybe the library has a book on different languages.
Tubes.
Well, I mean, yeah, if you're happy here, then yes, perhaps we could go to the library and see if what was that lovely young lady's name? Ray?
Ray.
Yes. See if she's found some books.
Well, she did have some. She did say she was going to look some things up for us.
Yes. Well, if you think there might be more answers there, then perhaps that's our next destination. Shall we head back?
Well, I think the most pressing concern for me right now is what does this say?
I mean, we could find some, like you said, books on language and see if any of the sounds are familiar. Or
even ask Nere herself. She may be a skilled linguist. She's obviously well studied.
She may know a linguist.
She may know one, exactly.
So,
all right, Saulk, you're good.
So 10 Hail Marys.
Yeah. And you just get
Poor old Saulk.
you just get this sort of response like, I know you. You were there. And you start saying the same thing you were saying before, but very quietly.
Carnelian, do you want me to heal him?
Perhaps
He's not hurt, is he?
perhaps
Well,
his emotions need calming.
Is that an ability that perhaps you may have?
I thought you might.
Oh. I mean, it's been a night. Could always retro.
Carnelian will just, cast a sleep spell.
You don't need to
night,
roll. He has so few hit points that you're going to definitely hit it. He falls asleep in his bed. And you just hear the whispering still. I know you are there. Do you not hear this?
Just give him a pat on the head and head out of the room.
As you leave the room, coming down the hall is Scene. And he's like, oh, good. Yes, I have my notes. Can you tell me anything more that I can write down for the patient?
He seemed to have some sort of recollection of past events. Started speaking again. But he appears to have fallen asleep now.
My word, you work very quickly. I must see the patient. He opens the door, he sees him. You've put him to bed. Perfect. He grabs one of the chairs, he sits down, he starts writing. Is there anything else you can add to my journal?
Nope.
No.
Just don't forget us. Another cured patient. You're dealing with four of the best.
He's cured, is he? Well, I'll be happy to see him wake and then
Yes.
he'll tell me everything.
Yes, he's right as rain.
Sure.
Oh, fantastic. No loose ends here whatsoever.
None whatsoever.
To the library.
To the library? I'm coming. Am I coming to the library?
Skeen, stay. I mean, Sheen.
I thought we were going to go on an adventure.
Sheen, your patients.
Oh,
They
right.
need you.
You're correct. I am needed here. Well, as a cleric, surely you must want to know more about the healing arts yourself. Perhaps you can trade notes.
With yourself?
Yes.
I'd love to. Yes.
I'm sure I have a number of magical scrolls that would interest you highly.
Well, I'd love to see them. I don't want to hold up my party members, but if...
You fell for the oldest trick in the book. I have no scrolls at all.
You are your brother's brother, you know that?
They have been said before.
Well,
Sheen, I must go. I've got a 6 p.m. that I've got to get to.
I see.
He
I've kept you
does.
for far too long.
Yes. Had to
Well-
push it back from 12.
All of you must walk with Ubok in every aspect of your day. Let his strength flow through you and give you the fortitude to move through life. In bust we must!
In bust, we must.
Ha ha! So you head out to the reception.
As we leave the hospital, I will transform back into Svieta.
Where did this cat come from? Oh my word!
So when we're outside the hospital.
I see you through the bars in this window. I was trying to look out where he was looking to see how he was cured.
Okay.
Young lady, that's impressive.
That's not weird at all. I was looking through the bar.
Through the bar to the window, and I saw that cat!
Apparently you can't escape Scene's all-seeing eye.
Is he just yelling at from behind the bars?
Goodbye! The best physicians I've ever known!
Bye.
Goodbye, cat nurse! You're the best cat nurse I've ever seen!
Yep.
I have not seen many.
But remember Polkadot, nothing else.
I remember. And so...
They must never know my real name.
I was just about to ask, are we not supposed to be addressing you as Svieta in this town?
Preferably not.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Are you serious?
Oh, no, they just... As long as they don't get my last name, it'll be fine. Don't worry.
So, would it be safer just to call you Dot now?
No, you've already called me Svieta way too many times.
It occurs to me, I don't actually know your last name, Svieta, so your secret's safe with me.
It's okay.
Just have to magically pry it from her.
It's not... Like, any other city would be fine. I'm pretty sure I'm still on the registry. I don't want them to know.
Oh.
On the radar.
But let's go to the library.
To the library.
Alright, so you head back across town to the library.
Pick up Otto and Dogcliff on the way.
Okay, so you head back to the White Lady Inn and pick up Otto and Dogcliff
From the stables.
from the stables.
The boys.
You then head to the library. It's now probably coming into midday, I'd say. It took you a little while to get across town from the morning after your breakfast, and then all the way back across town again into the library.
You can make your appointment still, Wodun.
Just don't tell him it was for the library.
Yeah.
He might appreciate that. You don't know. Suffice to say, you make your way there, and you can see the doors are open.
Oh, we're back.
Hey, Nere, you got that information that we requested?
Yes,
I remember what I asked you.
Yes, we asked for some books.
You head into the library, and you do see Nere at the counter.
Yes.
And she looks up and says, "Oh, welcome back. Great to see all of you again. There was some things you asked for. Yeah, look, sorry, it's been a hell of a morning.
You're telling me we cured a nut.
You really should be keeping that to yourself.
Just one.
I think I've got here." And she's rummaging around in papers. Carnelian, right?
Yeah?
You're after that book that you took out of poetry, yes?
Yes.
Okay, I've got a little bit of information, but it was a bit hard to track down. The book was worn over so long ago, but I didn't get the name. I did get an author. It was written at least 200 years ago, maybe more, from a poet called Copperbloom. Copperbloom. It looks to be a book that recounts some tales that may even trace their origins back to the Age of Thunder.
History check.
Yep.
18.
The Age of Thunder is roughly around the time when the dragons were thought to be introduced to the world of Faerun.
Oh my
It is a very
God,
long
that's
time
a long
ago.
time ago.
Yes, it looks like these most of these stories were orally passed down via tradition for thousands of years. Ended up this poet, and he was the first really to compile some of this stuff. A lot of it is old Draconic, and it had been rewritten and rewritten and rewritten. It's kind of like going through several versions of the same language as it gets newer and newer. So the tales are more interpretations than they are literal translations of stories. But I mean, not all of them might date themselves back that far, but you know,
Well then. A history book and a poetry book.
in a way, yes.
Well, it's a book with history.
There's a lot of history in that book. And I believe, what was your name in this scenario? Was it Justice? Was it
It was Catherine.
Catherine?
Catherine.
Was it?
It was.
All right,
Oh.
Catherine. You were after a list. Oh, you were after a list, I think, weren't you?
Just confirmation of some gods.
Okay, I have one here. Do you want the list just in letter form? Do you want me to tell you what's on the list?
If just like a quick few names.
All right. So gods, and I think it was the specifics were about humanoid sacrifice, Oriel, which does make a lot of sense.
Oh, I've
Talos.
been pronouncing her name wrong, my bad.
Oh, well, I'm sure she'll be very upset about that.
Yeah, more upset than she already is.
Blizzards every day now.
Talos.
Yep.
You have Tiamat. That is very unsurprising. You have Malar. You have Umberly.
Yep.
Merkel.
Yep.
You have Lathander, and you have Torm. Now, the interesting thing about those last ones is they don't necessarily talk about sacrifice directly. Often they're talking about self-sacrifice, martyrdom. It's where it comes up in the context mostly. Those gods don't always go in for the literal sacrifice. I also found some references to some sun gods, but I couldn't get any names. They seem to be old history in different continents, often referencing sacrifices to some sort of deity of the sun. I don't know if that's helpful to you.
No, not in this particular instance. Thank you, though.
Well, I'm glad I was able to help. Is there anything else I can help you out with? You've got some books to return?
Yes, they were a great read. Thank you. Did I have anything that I requested you to do?
No, I don't think so. I've only got here those two, unless... Did I forget about anything for...
No, I had a look at my notes. I don't think I requested anything.
Do you have any books on languages?
Languages? Plenty.
Do you have
Which
a
language?
section? I don't know. I have a bunch of syllables that I need to attach to a language.
Oh! Maybe I know. Could I see?
Pulls out paper, hands it over.
And she takes it down. It's like, it's not a language I recognize. Oh, you wrote this, so it's phonetic, right?
Yeah.
I see. I don't know for sure. You might find some languages back down into the section. There's a history section with a subset of languages that might help. You probably want some of the more esoteric ones.
It's not Draconic, it's not and it's not Dwarvish, I can tell you that.
It's not anything that's based in Sylvan. I don't think it's anything based in a celestial language or even a demonic or fiendish one. This is a pretty strange one. It would have to be a one of a kind. I don't see any traces of any elemental, primordial. I do kind of recognize it, though. Go for a look, see what you find. Don't look for big language trees. Look for offcuts that are their own thing. They don't have any trace origin to anything else. This doesn't look like it's anything like that.
Thank you.
In that case, I want you to do your research check.
What is a research
I
check?
don't know. What would you like to use? Books.
Investigation?
Investigation would work. Yep.
Oh.
That is a 3. You've gone back and you were able to find the section that she's referring to, but there's a lot here. As she said, just narrowing down out of the languages that have root languages to somewhere else, it takes you a long time and you don't find anything at this stage.
I might actually walk up to Carnelian, sorry,
Yep.
Mm,
and how are you going there, Carnelian? Any luck with the search?
No. It is a metaphorical needle in a metaphorical haystack.
Perhaps I could provide some metaphorical assistance.
I prefer regular assistance.
Okay.
I would
Even better.
prefer literal assistance.
Yes. Can I perhaps... So we're looking for forgotten languages that don't stem from others, sort of on their own sort of thing,
Well-
lesser known.
It makes sense. Languages often borrow from one another. Dwarvish and Giant are kind of connected.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of
Perhaps maybe more of the, like along the lines of Orcish or Goblin, or do they have origins? I don't know.
Giant, I think. But maybe Goblin is like Sylvan? Because I guess goblins are fairies now.
I might just have a quick look for some forgotten languages, if that's all right.
You can do an investigation check as well.
Thank you.
Wodun and Svieta, anything you'd like to do?
Ugh. Sorry.
Do you want some assistance?
We'll just keep perpetually assisting one another.
I might look into, I guess, anything sinister from a medical perspective, like experiments on humanoid
Okay.
races and things
Okay.
like that.
So you're going to try a different approach.
Yeah, I'm curious about Carnelian's conjured image.
You're going to roll a history check, I think. Svieta.
I might go into the geological section to see more if there's any books on perhaps Charlatans.
Charlatans.
Yeah. Because honestly, I don't think we've made any cracked.
I
Cases
tried
about
Charlatan last
Oh,
time.
did you?
I don't know if I rolled poorly or there just wasn't any info here, but I got almost nothing.
You could do a different approach to finding the same stuff that the Carnelian's looking for, or you could do something completely different.
No, I might just help Carnelian.
You got to do a straight-up investigation check on the languages. You could do what
Yeah.
Wodun's doing and find a different approach. That might help. If you find references and other things that are not related to language, it might help you narrow down the language.
I wouldn't even know.
I'm leaving it up to
Unless
you.
anyone else has ideas that I could steal.
So, Carnelian, you were subjected to experiments, and you were the subject of the experiments in the vision. Is that what we saw in your image?
That's what I had to assume.
Okay.
I couldn't recall. Well, kind of can now, but
Do you know roughly how long ago this was?
yeah, it was like
I think
Less-
just over a week, wasn't it?
it was like 5 days before I wound up in Goodmead.
I think you hadn't been in good need for very long.
I woke up. I was wandering for a while. I met some humans. I left the humans quickly because they didn't like me.
They did save your life.
They did save my life, which probably more than I should have expected. I went to Easthaven, then I went to Goodmead because Easthaven.
So within the year.
Yeah,
It's probably only been a couple of weeks, really, for you.
Okay.
it was like less than a 10-day ago when I met you guys.
I mean, I guess you could look for something along the lines of
Oh,
like travelers' tales or something like more of a recounts rather than fictional, non-fictional stuff.
celestial phenomena, recent celestial phenomena. Something crashed.
Meteorology or something
Yeah,
like that.
you can
Yeah.
do that.
It's an angle I was going to suggest too, because it's very recent. Do they keep copies of newspapers here?
I mean, they would, if this would be the place to do it.
Is there any astrologers? Surely they would have. If that something fell to the ground and
You could-
was
you could-
fine, someone
yeah.
would have noticed.
You could definitely search that angle.
I'll look up weather phenomena in the last 6 months. If
Okay.
there's like
So
clippings.
roll your meteorology check. No, so I'm going to allow you to do a nature check and a history check respectively, if you'd like to. Wodun, history check for you were looking for stories of experimentation, things like that.
Like stories of
Oh, you rolled a 2 as
people's
well.
unusual travels. And
That's 3.
things like
3 in a row.
readings tech.
Yep.
Don't roll
Yeah.
a 2. It's cocked.
What am I rolling? History.
Don't roll a
History.
19.
19.
Oh, there you go.
All right, and what was the nature check?
2.
You're going back through a number of different articles. You don't see anything unusual. Obviously, every time the aurora goes out, that's probably the most unusual phenomena that's been noted in the sky of recent. You don't really find anything other than that at this stage.
Oh man, that must be boring. It's just like date, night, aurora goes up. Date, night, aurora goes up.
I think the way, because I rolled so poorly, I think I'd get like halfway through and just like fall
I
asleep.
was literally just about to say, you fall asleep midway
Yeah,
through
I was
this
like-
boring information.
Just like cheek on paper, it's like falling asleep.
you wake up and there's like a
No, I'm not
print-
even going to wake up. I'm
There's
just
like,
asleep.
when you do, there's like a
Yeah.
print of a date, and like it just says Aurora. Okay,
Okay.
so you rolled a 19 on that history check, I think, Wodun.
Yep.
You're looking through. So you were looking specifically for like tall tales about. What was it again?
Like kind of like disappearances on the road, or
Yep.
people being like, "Oh yeah, I was just out traveling, and then what the fuck? I just turned up in this random town."
Yeah. Okay.
Like that sort of, just like more like recounts of people's travels rather than
Yeah.
like books on astrology or language sort of thing.
You find after you're taking about an hour to research. Like all this has taken about an hour to 2 hours to research, and you are looking through different things. You can see a number of different tall tales, kind of sound like what you want, and it leads you to a journal of a traveller that had once been a sailor that used to run down the Sword Coast, all the way up past Luskan and into the Sea of Moving Ice, far to the north of here. And the run would be to bring provisions into that part of the world before it all got frozen over from Ariel. This was a little while ago. So often they would make that trip in summers rather than when it was more accessible. And most of it's pretty boring, like it's just sort of journal entries, and there's a couple of like large things about phenomena on the ocean. And one particular experience that you read was a strange experience where sometime at night, the crew of the ship, the Living Gale, which was travelling up and down the coast, spotted something out on the horizon. And as they drew close to it, they thought they were seeing was like giant squid, these sort of tentacles that were thrashing about on the water and this big shape underneath. And as they were approaching it, suddenly it lifted out into the air and sped across the sky. So that leads you to an article about, like, sorry, this journal entry, and then that journal entry makes reference to talking to other sailors and other adventurers in Luskan, which then leads to a couple other reference research papers and things like that, like trying to make sense of what is it. This person clearly, by the time they'd heard this story, got a little bit obsessed, and for a few months, like, they'd just been recording it. And eventually it leads you to a set of other books, and you're like, okay, well, it's not in this journal. So you go looking for it, and eventually you find some of the references they're talking about. And it leads you to essentially a monster, like references to a creature called a Mind Flayer. And it makes reference that they speak a particular language called Deep Speech. You then make that to Carnelian, who this now seems very familiar when you start describing what Mind Flayers are supposed to look like. And you're getting these flashes and images of these like long, like elongated heads and tentacles.
What do I need to roll to know about Mind Flayers?
I think it'll be an Arcana check. I'm waiting for this to load, but... so do an Arcana check. Also, in your mind, as these sort of images are starting to come together, you're like kind of recognizing the features that Wodun's talking about, but it seems like distorted. Like you're looking through it through a funhouse mirror, and you're seeing this image as if it's like this squat figure that is like all tentacles at the front, long head and purple. 21. What did you want to know again?
What would Carnelian... So, Carnelian's well-travelled. What would he know about illithids? Like, what is the common... Well, not the common information, but what is the information that would be known to him?
So, you know, illithids... it has been speculated that illithids are creatures that travel between planes. They're often seen, they're often associated with and this is now coming back to you when you sort of think about the things that you see and the things that Wodun's talking about. These insane vehicles that ply the waves of the night sky instead of the waves of the ocean. You know that they are said to talk, or rather, they use telepathy to communicate with each other. You know that the way that they're made is like a humanoid creature is essentially infected with this kind of tadpole-like creature that eventually takes over it and turns it into it's called a ceramorph.
Guys, it occurs to me, we have a list of people who were, like, maybe kidnapped by a bunch of squid men that reproduce by inserting tadpoles inside human brains.
Like...
is this part of what we learned?
No, this is Carnelian recalling what he knows about Mind Flayers.
Okay.
Just saying... Harrin Saulk might have a a tadpole in his brain.
What? Like, can it be removed?
So he's in the same ghost hunter crew as us?
Oh.
I mean, we're tadpoles,
We're
right?
tadpoles.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
No, Nayray?
Yes.
Do you have any books on illithids?
Oh, yeah, near the section where you are, just take a left. You might find some books about illithids.
Thank you.
Do you have a tadpole?
Starts kicking it. I hope not. I don't. Well,
Can we open you up and find out?
please don't. I like my head.
Svieta.
Sorry.
We're gonna go look for a book on a mind flayer. Hopefully, it has visual references.
Roll me an advantage investigation check.
That is a 16.
Okay. What I'll say is the first thing you find is a book that appears to be very much in reference to deep speech, the language that illithids use. And if you open it up, you can see some ways that some words. And you can start translating the message that you saw. Do you do that?
Absolutely.
It takes you some time, maybe another hour or so. But the message is this. Nautiloid down. Emergency protocols enabled. Crew safe, but vessel imperiled. Psi crystals needed. Come at once.
Okay.
What does that mean? Find out next week on Reflex
What about
Save.
psi crystals, really?
A Nauta who?
A nautiloid.
Nautiloid.
Not a lie.
Not a lie? This is all unusable. This is all unusable. I'm sorry, future me, who's editing this episode.
Well, but in fairness, though, have you seen one of them things? It's got a massive sack.
It's probably Sunday, and you really just want to get to finishing, so you can play vampire or Elite Dangerous.